All right. Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, November 8th, and we're here doing the student final ethnography for Anthropology of Music. This is Lynn. Lynn, do you mind introducing yourself? Just name, short bio, where you're from,
I'm
etc.,
Lynn
etc.
Holloman. I am from Chicago and I moved out here 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and just kind of fell in love with fall because it's beautiful in the fall time. So and I sing and write music and play and play the theremin and rock out as much as I can,
Very
as
cool,
much as
very
they let
cool.
me.
Yeah.
The powers.
All right. Next question. Kind of give me a rundown of the band that you're in. Maybe like a little backstory with how you guys all came together, whatnot, etc.
So Lucid Evolution started around 2021. I just had it like an obscene amount of need to get this out on paper and start getting what I was feeling. And I was just going through a huge transformation process of what do I want to, what do I learning about? And it was really just I feel like a soul searching level. And I couldn't communicate that in any other way but through music. And so I started writing all these songs that had to do with like really coming out of the darkness and finding hope and light through the vibes of frequencies. And I just felt like the more that music became part of me, that I was able to speak that truth through to so many people, and hopefully it can help others. And if they're ever feeling the way I was, I guess, like in a darkness, or because sometimes we don't know that we have a gift that can heal others. And so a lot of the things that we do is about just what can make you feel whole. And I think a lot of the things that with music, we're able to find that spirit led without it being so like religious, or just really thinking of like we're all just vibrations of frequencies, and just trying to find people on that same level. That helps.
No, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Um, so did music play a big role with your upbringing, like growing up and whatnot? And how has that kind of changed into what it has become today, into what you just described right now?
Okay. So when I was a kid, I had piano lessons and I absolutely hated piano lessons. I actually tried to get out of it every day of my entire existence. I think I was 9 when I quit. And I think I would choose to sit at a piano every once in a while. And I met my husband, who is a drummer, and he started drumming when he was 9. So I met him when I was 21. And we would go to like Guitar Center for him to play the drums because it's not easy to be a drummer in an apartment. So we would go to Guitar Center and he would just play the drums and I would just play on a piano just randomly. I didn't like know like anything about music. Like I didn't remember anything, and I just would noodle, and just kept doing it. And then one day, I think I was 40. So I was 40 years old when I started playing music for real. Is during COVID. I quit drinking and I I just said, I'm just going to write every song that I have in every different key so that I can learn all the chords within the key, so that I was going to be confident in what I was doing, like I really wanted to know how to noodle and jam without it being like I'm just pretending I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I really decided to like focus and just start writing. And I wrote, I mean, so many songs. I can't even tell you how many. But we're on our second album now. We're recording that next week. So, and there's a lot of songs in the bank of my that I haven't actually brought forward yet. It was probably on the third album, which more will keep coming. But I had never known that this was a solution to my life. That I never knew that this was something that could happen to me. That like I pushed, like it was a self-esteem issue, like there was a confidence issue. It was something that I just didn't know was something that needed to be awoken. And it turned out that it was incredibly healing. If I would have just known that, I could have like saved me from years of alcoholism, drug use, trying to, fill that void that we have. And I mean, now, I'm sober. I'm like, or California sober, but in general, like I focus heavily on the psychedelic healing of music, um, in any way that we can try to improve, um, just our souls on a higher vibration. And so, without that information, I wouldn't have been able to get here. So I just became really obscenely passionate about like, and I would cry all the time about like, I have to get this music out there. If I can't, and I don't even know who needs to hear it, but it was just really important for me. Um and if it wasn't for my family to support me, like my kids, they're all, your age, they're all growing up, and I think they saw the what how important it was for me to learn how to do this. And now mom and dad are out there in the band, rocking out. So they see that, and then they are singing and they're doing all the things. So, I just feel like I've shown them a good example of how to really follow your dreams.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge. No. And I feel like people like you are the reason why people want to move forward, because it's tough to get your story out there.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh God, no! You're the only person who really knows.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that
Maybe
I get
one
to tell
day
your
more
story.
people know, but it's just one of those things that you're like, oh, I had some trouble. I was going through a lot.
Yeah, and like I feel like people taking their first step is kind of an initiation for a lot of people.
You have to be okay with failing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like really, like, and what I did was I went out and I played in a cover band and failed. Like I couldn't sing, I couldn't play, like I couldn't do both at the same time. I couldn't lead a band, and it just took time and patience. And the more that I kept going out there and just trying, like the more that I got confident, and then you know saw me at Brambly, and hopefully I was okay.
No, you were amazing. Everyone was like, we need to stay longer. And I was like, we're going to stay for the rest.
Well, that's because I practiced every day of my entire life since I was 40. So.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here. Now I'm 78.
Now you're here.
That's how long it's taken now. It's like the time has been like, you need, like they say, you put in 10,000 hours of work, but I feel like I didn't stop playing like 24 hours. I would go out in the middle of the night and just noodle and write, and I'm writing every day. Like there wasn't a day that I wasn't trying to figure out what the next music was.
You have a lot to share.
So much. I don't
so much.
think it's ever going to stop.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
right?
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, let's hope. So maybe shifting gears a little bit. Tell me your band origin story with all of the other members of the group. How did y'all come to be? Oh. You said your husband may play in the band as well.
Yeah, he's the drummer.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about that. Maybe any cool stories that you would want to share.
So sadly, my guitarist, my first guitarist, who's on our EP, he committed suicide in January 2023. And my husband and I found him because he didn't show up to band practice. And we had no idea that he was battling suicide in any way. So it was like an extreme amount of like chaos, because we were like just about to, record our first album, and we had all these plans, and I thought he was okay. I just never knew. I didn't see the signs. Looking back now, I see all the signs, but I just didn't know, so it was absolutely awful that I had to go through that, or he and I and all of us,
Everyone,
So after Sean passed away, I wrote a song for his funeral, and his family asked me to play in front of all of them, and I had never been like an acoustic act or done anything by myself besides noodling in my garage. So he asked me to play. I guess his family's like, they all asked me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for you, Sean. And then so I wrote a song for him that he had been playing. He played like one time, and he said he really liked it, and that's going to be coming out like the end of this year. So it's taken a long time, but we're putting all of our energy into getting it right. So once we kind of figured out like we need to find another Sean, like there has to be somebody out there. 2 months later, Cam showed up, and Cam is like like it was like a dream come true. Like Sean had given us this gift, like because Cam can play anything. He's a guitar teacher. He knows, like, he's experienced in metal. He's experienced in all types of genres, and he was just an amazing add to the band that solidified the synergy that we have.
Mhm.
And we all are passionate about what we're doing, and we all have this healing that we're trying to get across. So it just worked out that way, and we couldn't be more blessed. And so I think we started March 23rd, 2023. So now here we are, and we keep getting shows booked, and I'm hoping that we can keep going, getting into bigger festivals and getting our name out there, and then hopefully we can bring that healing to others through
Very
through
cool.
the music.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory with your band?
Oh,
Currently, maybe
I
before
don't know if
when
it's a
John.
favorite memory, but the only one that came up in my head was we were driving up to New Haven, Connecticut,
Mhm.
and almost the tire fell off. We almost died.
You're like, right, right.
Of course, this happens to us. I think I had like $200 in my checking account. I'm like really on empty, and I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna make it through. And then so my sister like was able to Venmo me like $300 for the tire, and we ended up doing the gig and having a great gig. And even if there's only like two people that we reach, that's like all we needed to reach. We came and we needed to do, even if we're playing to nobody, just we know we're helping others see, feel, feel something. And that's
Mhm.
that's all that's important. So yeah, we've had some experiences,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
but it's funny because Cam and I had to ride in like the van in the truck in the tow truck, and then the Brian and Sammy had to ride in the car that was being towed, and it was just crazy, like we really didn't think we were gonna make it. We were from Virginia, so like driving up to New Haven, it was a long drive. We left at like 5 in the morning, and the road is like really bumpy, and I don't know how more tires don't like fall off on the way up there. It was crazy. So yeah, we had a good time just hanging out at at the tire place trying to get fixed, but it literally almost fell off.
A
So
real life band on the road story. I
yes,
feel like that only ever happens in movies.
it only happens in movies. It's sad because like you really like you got to think like literally like we didn't have any money, so we were thinking, oh my god, like normally most people travel with cash and in case of emergency.
Right.
We had nothing, so we were like, oh, we'll figure it out.
We're winging it.
We're winging
But
it,
it makes for good stories.
and we survived.
And we're here. We're
The
here.
band didn't die. It's a
Yeah.
miracle. We should have died. If you wiggle if the guy was wiggling, he's like, "You have got another tire on here," and I'm like, "Oh, we'll fix that one later." We drove it back home, and we
You're
were
like, the universe needs us here.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
you're here. Why you're here.
yeah.
Um,
The universe supports us.
yeah. Yeah, it does. So, this genre of music that you chose, why did you choose it specifically? I mean, you kind of talked about your songwriting. Did the songwriting come first, and did you feel like that played into the kind of psychedelic rock that your band plays? Just maybe
I've just
touch
been a
on that.
big fan of like Pink Floyd, and I've always been a big jam band fan,
Hmm.
but I've never wanted like there's two types of jam bands. There's the Dead and Fish, and I feel like Pink Floyd is sort of like a jam band in the sense that like it's an alternative way of looking at music and that psychedelic rock genre.
Hmm.
And I feel like when you're in that, there's something really healing about jams that just center right onto your heart. Like when you're in the middle of it, that just doesn't exist with pop or, I mean, even if you're doing something poppy, the jams, there's the instrumental side is where that I feel like that's where the healing comes from. You can hear the words, but then the response is the instrumental side. And it's like, here's what I'm saying. And then now here's the medicine, the tonic that you need to, and you can only feel that when you're in it. And I don't know what it sounds like until after I listen back. So I have no idea what's happening when we're in the jam,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something that's out of body experience. So it gives you chills. Like it gives me
Yeah.
chills every time we're doing a song. And it's like, whoa, what was that?
Like a conversation, kind
Yeah, you have no idea what's happening. And then you're like, oh, wow, we did that. I have no idea how we did that or how it even happened, but it worked.
of. That's incredible.
So yeah, miracles. It's like a
Wow.
constant miracle happening.
Kind of just came to you.
Just
Like it
comes.
just
I,
appeared.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not like it would appear like if any other players in the band were different, it wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Everything has to happen according to the plan, and we have no idea what the plan is, and we're just like, okay, this is what we're doing, and we're very nonchalant about it. There's no structure. Like we try not to. I try to make it so that the guys have freedom to express themselves in their way, and I don't want them to feel like they have to do this and is exactly what it has to be,
Right.
because then the tonic's gone,
Mhm.
So hope that
No,
helps.
yeah, that helps a lot. That was a beautiful explanation. I don't think anybody could have done it better.
Thanks. I
Um,
don't know what I said, but it sounds good.
no, yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Um, so with your band, coming out with its second album, you said
Well, yeah,
working on
working
and
on.
then coming out with.
It'll be next year.
What are your goals when it comes to playing with your band and things you want to achieve or have achieved? Anything to note on that?
I mean, I just want to keep playing. I want to get in front of people that really, are looking for this type of music, that understand what our mission is. And the more people that we can heal, the more I think we're going to help others really heal. And so I just feel it's kind of all about love. So like the more that we can love what we're doing and love everything is all about love. So I'm just trying to put as much love as we can into the music and our performances, and hopefully people can feel that, because this world's crazy, especially right now. So we need more people like that are
Mhm.
trying to do good, and that's what we want to do. I mean, we're human. We're just trying to. That's why we always talk about. We're always like expressing, like we always feel like we're not out of place, or we're just different, unique people. And so I always feel like the alien technology is like
Right?
within
Yeah.
us.
Mhm. 100%. 100%. Um, yeah, no, I completely agree. I think yeah, again, I think your message is extremely important and
Kind of like like there's like there's a message in everything.
mhm.
And I feel like we all have we're all going to be dead one day, and music is solidified and forever. It's going to be here forever, hopefully.
Mhm.
And at least that's my goal, is that even as we age and pass away, that new bands will come about and hopefully have that same message.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
healing.
It is. Yeah. Um, was there a specific artist that helped you when you were in your place of darkness that you spoke of earlier that kind of like helped bring you out that inspired you to start your own music?
I mean, I definitely love female rockers that can, like Grace Potter. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like she's just a badass. And you know, any anybody that like is not afraid that to tell people who they are and be yourself and do what you want to do, chase your dreams. Those are my people. Like Sierra Farrell, I love her too, and just anybody that is like not afraid, not scared to go out and do your thing,
Mhm.
and don't be afraid of it, because life is short. We don't have a lot of time here. And I think after Sean passed away, it just reminded me that like we need to do this stuff like immediately, or else what are we doing here?
Right. Yeah.
We're just sitting here waiting. And
Mhm.
I don't want to just sit here and wait. I want to go out there and make something, create it. I love creating. So all the female rockers in the world, Dolly Parton, everybody that like
Everybody.
paves the way for all of
Mhm.
us to be able to just keep doing it. That's amazing. Stevie Nicks,
Queen, the
Queen.
queen of
Yeah,
queens.
all the
Um,
witches.
all the witches. All the witches.
Yeah,
Um,
we're all witches in our own way. Even if
we
you're
are.
super, Christian, we're
Mhm.
all witches in some
Mhm.
way. A prayer is the same thing as a spell.
Mhm. 100%. Um, so when you kind of started your whole journey, where did your kind of bravery and independence come from? Like what was your defining moment that you said, I'm going to do this and it doesn't matter if I'm going to fail and fail and fail again? Like what kept you going?
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for my kids, probably just I have a special needs daughter that gives me joy every day, and she wasn't supposed to live past 2, so she's 13 now, and I'm like, every day is a miracle. And if it wasn't like when I first started playing, I was starting playing for her because she loves music and music therapy. So the more that I kept playing for her, and then Amelia started singing, and I was like, and the girls all started singing, Ryan and Eve, Elise, everybody started singing, and it was just like, that's, I'm doing something at home. Like, I'm not just a mom, I'm
Yeah.
like, Brian and I are doing as much as we can to encourage them. Like, even if they were like, they've all done soccer or sports, like we wanted them to just have some art form that they can say, this is what I want to do. And so some nights just hearing them go off and sing in their own, doing their own thing, they're writing songs, like just stuff like that, that means the world to me. And like, so if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would probably, I don't know where I'd be,
Mhm.
So they're part of the
Mhm.
story,
Yeah, of
all of it.
course. Um, no, of course. I had another question on here. Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me. Um, I mean, I guess you kind of touched on this a little bit, but I don't know if you wanted to add anything else specifically. But what is your message you hope to communicate to your listeners, to your kids, um, through your music, and why specifically that message?
The whole sonic psychedelic healing is all about, and you could call it anything you want,
Mm-hmm.
but like, the message is love, and creating what you know is going to heal somebody else is going to be a message that transcends time. So my kids are gonna one day lose. I'm gonna pass away, and so they're gonna always have that message that I've. They can always hear my voice and my husband's voice. Like, they'll be able to always feel that, and I think that's just something that's a gift to be able to have. Like, some people leave their mom's message on the answer machine forever, and it's like, you can always listen back, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's even when we're gone, we're still gonna
Yeah.
still here forever,
100%. Yes.
solidifying our place.
Your legacy.
Yeah.
Talk to me about sonic psychedelic healing. I'm not super informed in that area, but
Well, it comes through that vibration. So, like, the more that we are thinking of how to be a higher vibration person, the more that you're going to surround yourselves with people that are in the same realm,
mhm,
you know. And thankfully, the ones that are low vibrational, they start to fall off, or they start to kind of come together. And so I don't ever want people to feel like they have to be in a bubble or anything like that, because people are people and you go through things, and it's okay. But I think when you have music that can help you just start to actually, if it doesn't make you cry or feel or get goosebumps, or feels, there's something that has to be feeling out of the music, and it just, that's when you know that you're being healed by it. Like, that's when you know
mhm,
something happens to your either body or your emotions that says, oh. And that's what I call sonic psychedelic healing, because you don't need drugs. It's not about that, because we can tap into anything that we want. If you want to feel any out of out of this world kind of medicine, you can tap into that. That's available to you. Just a lot of people don't know what it is. And
mhm.
a lot of that is available through music. It will change your life, like it's changed mine. So
Yeah,
it can
100%.
happen to you.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Song will hit you, and you'll be like, I'm
Yeah.
transformed.
I did do a little bit of reading on psychedelic rock music because it was on your guys's profile online,
Yeah.
and I was like so curious about it because I had never heard um of that before, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so interested." There are a bunch of studies about um psychedelic rock helping with psychosis
Oh yeah,
patients, and I had no idea that this
yeah.
was like even a thing at all. Um
Who doesn't have psychosis? A lot of
right.
people are now, like, as you know, like, people are, weed being legal. Like, a lot of people have realized that, like, did they smoke too much, or they become
Yeah. Yeah,
way
yeah, yeah, yeah,
too,
yeah.
like, and
No,
that's
yeah.
and that's okay,
Mhm.
but that needs to be like, there needs to be an outlet for that. And I'm just hoping that, like, not trying to tell people how to live. It's not about that. It's just about, like, there's opportunities for alternative healing through sound that can do a lot more than just Western music or Western medicine.
Yeah, yeah,
So
100%. No,
you know,
so interesting. I don't think that it was with marijuana that the thing that I read about was. I think it might have been MDMA.
Oh yeah, Molly could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had like um like real evidence that showed like they were doing much better
Oh
after being exposed to this kind of stuff, and I was like, this is
yeah.
crazy cool.
It's amazing. Like it can heal you. Like
Mhm.
and like I always think about not only like where is our traumas coming from,
Mhm.
and trying to really stare the trauma in the face and say,
Yeah.
when we saw Sean pass away, like it wasn't something that like we knew we were gonna walk into, and especially like even though we were like already doing psychedelic rock music, like and he was an amazing guitarist, like you just never know where people are going to
Yeah.
be, and so you have to meet them where they are. And I think we had we known that like he was ill, like we maybe could have saved him, or this was just his plan, like all along. We don't know. The universe had a plan for him, and
Mhm.
maybe that's what his mission was in this world. Destiny comes up, grabs you whether you like it or not, you
Mhm.
know. So not all destiny is always going to be easy to sit with. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just have to be like, okay, I'm along for the ride. I mean, we don't
Mhm.
know what's going to happen today or tomorrow.
Right. You never. You
We just have to
really
believe.
these days you never know.
You never know. Life
Um.
changes in a minute.
Yeah. How was your healing process after you guys lost Sean, and how did your music shift? Was there a shift?
Oh yeah,
Um.
like my whole entire life changed. I felt like I like the visual of your friend dead like is a whole new, like I'd never witnessed that. I mean, I worked at a nursing home and saw older people pass away, but it was different. Like this was something that like whoa, like I did not know I could feel something like I just everything felt so out of body. Like
Yeah.
something was supernatural, and I was like, what is happening? And the birds chirping didn't. I mean, everything else was normal. Everything was going fine, and then it just felt like an electric vibe happened, and something like changed. But everything else sounded like this. Was the sun was shining,
You're like, what's
but
going
like
on?
it felt so real. Like you would just hit the pavement, smack,
Mhm.
you're down, and my life changed. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be so affected, but it changed. It just everything about like I knew more and more, like I felt more gumption to like I have to keep going. I can't quit. I can't, just get a regular job and try to fall
Right.
in, like
Yeah.
I had to keep going. Like it was just it kind of gave me more passion to not let every minute go, and just, that's the thing about music. This is all
You gotta
it.
keep
You
going.
gotta keep
It's that's
going.
it. That's it.
And we're able to like manage that time in seconds, and it's just I want to live my life in there with all my family and my loved ones, and I don't want to ever leave it.
Yeah. Do what you're passionate
Yeah, be
about.
passionate and chase it. Don't ever
Mhm.
let up, especially when, like we've had more like band breaking down, us not getting gigs, like everything that you could think that can happen to a band has happened to, like we're like, okay, like we're gonna keep going. Nothing's gonna stop us because this is our plan, this is our mission, this is what we want to do. All of us,
Mhm.
we want this. We want to make sure that this is gonna be it's doable, and in our way, of course. I mean, we have kids, and we want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. So, kind of like the Dead, all the family came with when they
Mhm.
went on tour.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
bring them all.
Amazing. My friend went
We'll
to
have a
like
double
3,
decker bus.
yeah, such so cool. My friend went to like 3 of their shows and showed me pictures, and I was just like,
Wow.
"Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, insane, unreal,
it's
unreal,
unreal.
unreal." Okay, last question. Anything else you want to share with this? Anything I should know? Anything you feel like I should know?
Oh, I mean, I think the spirit really does move us in ways that we're just not. We might not always, you'll be sitting in a drive-through line, or you're at the checkout counter, or you're getting a pack of gum from Wawa. Like those minutes that you're spending doing that, they do matter, even though it feels like you're just doing your day to day life and running to class and you're late and you forgot to put in your earrings one day.
Mhm.
Like those little things that you do, it seems minuscule, but like those are gifts. Every moment that you're alive and breathing, and this is the whole, like, this isn't just a fake universe, or this is real. People are affected by your presence, so you know stay alive. And even when you're dead, stay alive, because
Right.
your
Leave
legacy,
something
leave something
behind.
behind for others, whatever way you can,
Mhm.
notes or books or anything, writings on the wall. And then if you are a ghost and you have that opportunity, you know show up.
Right. Oh, I will. Oh, I will. You know I will.
Because I know I'll be haunting some people, but
Oh,
with good
for
haunt.
with good
Yeah,
intention. Mhm.
when you see that hummingbird, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. The small things.
The small things, it all matters.
It does.
I see cardinals all the time, and I'm like, oh, there's my aunt, or there's Sean, or you know. So
Watching
they're
over
always
you.
connected. Like I'm
Mhm.
never so like far away that death is not final. It's just another room that they're in.
Another room. It's beautiful.
Yeah, spirit kisses the earth. That's what we're doing
Mhm. Every day.
every day, and that's a line from our next song called Infinity.
I'll check it out. I
One day it'll
can't
be out.
wait.
One day.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay.
We did it.
We did it.